Okay, when you have a dream, you normally wake up and within 10 minutes you've forgotten about it. But when our next guest has a dream, he wakes up and calls the police. Chris Robinson has vivid and disturbing premonitions practically every night. The police take him seriously now, especially when it's a dream like this one.
I saw dogs in a graveyard, and I knew that dogs meant terrorists. I saw clocks ticking. There was photographic equipment. There were all these strange symbols. Can't really explain what it feels like to know that something is going to happen that you can't possibly really know in advance.
Hello, sir.
Hello, my name's Chris Robinson. Look,
yes, sir.
I phoned up
I
a
was
couple of times. I
frightened.
want to speak to someone.
I was nervous, but on the other hand, I knew that if I didn't go there and warn them, there could be a lot of people killed.
Well, that was an episode from a new programme which goes on ITV out at 8:30 tonight.
8:30, yes.
It's called Strange But True, hosted by Michael Aspel, and Chris is in it tonight. Now, that particular sequence was an episode. You dreamt there was a bomb, or thought there was something hugely problematical about RAF
No,
Stanmore.
I knew it was a bomb.
Right, you knew.
And
RAF Stanmore?
Yes, I knew where it was. Basically, what had happened in 1989, I had a dream in October, which was to do with some terrorists and where they were staying. I told the police about that dream. They sort of didn't really take it seriously, but when terrorists were arrested at the hotel later...
That you dreamt about?
Yes. I mean, like, people think, my God, how did he know? It can't be a dream, he's telling lies.
Oh, I think you're a fruitcake.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he knew. He was right. So, surveillance. I mean, we got to watch him. So they gave me somebody to talk to whenever I wanted to, and they kept a close eye on me.
So they sort of believed you.
Well, they knew I knew what was happening.
Yeah.
What I had told them was factually correct.
But they didn't know where you were getting it from.
No, and they didn't really believe it was a dream.
You could be an RA informant.
Well, or I could have been in a pub and overheard somebody, or I could have played with a radio scanner and...
Well, as far as the Stanmore thing's concerned, initially there didn't seem to be anything wrong, but indeed only, 3 or 4 weeks later?
4 weeks later, the bomb was where I thought it was going to be.
Now look, we're going to see some spectacular tape now. Tell us about the dream you had, about the two MiGs colliding at an air show.
Well, it was 2 weeks before an air show at Fairford in Gloucestershire. Yeah. I, at that time, didn't know about the air show, but I was dreaming about planes looping the loop, crashing into the ground, explosions and fireworks in the sky.
You can all have those dreams, though.
Yes, we can, and parachutes. But over the last 5 years, I've come to recognise which dream will be real and which dream is just a dream, which we all have.
So you went down to
well,
to the
first of all, I phoned the police.
Yeah.
And I spoke to a policeman on the Saturday morning and said, look, I've got postcodes for Gloucester. I now know there's an air show in Gloucester. I've seen these planes loop the loop, crash. Then rang the News of the World, spoke to a journalist friend of mine, Gary Jones. And then I rang another friend of mine, Penny Thornton, who's an astrologer. And she said to me, I have been dreaming of telephoto lenses and you. And that was the trigger. And I said, right, that's it. Jumped in the car, flew over to Gloucester. Didn't get there in time. The show had started. The car park was closed.
Stop there.
Hang on. Well, hang on. You couldn't get in.
I couldn't get in. No,
they wouldn't let you in.
Well, it was full.
Right.
The car parks were full. It was to capacity.
And you were desperately saying to somebody, let me through. I've got
Please
to tell you
let me
about
in.
this.
So the policeman said, no, I can't let you in. It's closed. I'm sorry. And I told him about the dream. I told him who I was. I gave him a police contact.
All right. And while you were standing there, horrified, this is what happened.
Okay.
The two MiG-29 Fulcrum fighters were among the stars of this year's Fairford Tattoo, celebrating the RAF's 75th anniversary. They were well into a sophisticated aerial display when the accident happened, one MiG appearing to cut across the nose of the other. The pilot had barely 15 seconds to eject as his blazing aircraft plunged to the ground. Miraculously, both Russian pilots had managed to eject in time.
You actually saw that happen while you were there. Was it exactly what you dreamt?
Almost exactly, yes.
Yeah. What did you feel as you saw it happening, unfolding in reality in front of you?
I couldn't really speak. After the fireball hit the ground, I then couldn't speak. But then a chap was standing next to me, and there was quite a crowd of people and a policeman, and they said they couldn't have survived. And I said, but in the dream, I saw the parachutes. They do.
And they did.
And they did. Yeah. So I knew there was no danger to the pilots.
Do you dream every night?
Yes.
Now, presumably some of your dreams must be ordinary.
Of course.
Perfectly normal dreams about you and your life. And
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, do you ever have any pleasant premonitions? Because those are all a bit nasty.
Oh, yes. I mean, there's lots of pleasant things. I mean, I think, but we all do that, you know.
you're a regular guy. You're just an ordinary bloke, aren't you?
Yeah, just
I mean, you're not claiming to be
No,
David Icke or even Jesus Christ.
No,
you know?
certainly not.
Okay. So what is it, do you think, that you've got that the rest of us don't have? How do you think it works?
Well, I don't know how it works, and I think we've all got it.
Right.
I think that the difference with me and perhaps you is that I've set some time in my life aside to watch with it, to work with it. And as you have to get up and you've got really busy schedules, when the first dream came, I said, right, that's it. I'm going to give this a year, because I was convinced, and I wanted to convince others. So I didn't really do anything. I lay in bed and then...
So you've developed a facility.
I've developed a facility.
To interpret your dream. But what it means is, of course, if all this is as real as it would seem, everything's predestined. We're on a fixed track.
No, I don't think that's right. The way I think it is, if there are different theories of the universe. If the universe started with a big bang, and it's a cyclic universe, there's this big bang, it goes out for 30 billion years, or however long, and they're arguing about how, and it comes back in again, and it all happens again. If we believe a material universe, cause and effect create everything. I mean, you bring an egg and a sperm together and you create a child, and it's how that was before they came together that determines the colour of... I mean, it's all predetermined, isn't it? All you got to do is provide it with warmth and nourishment, and that child will grow. And that happens with every living thing on the planet. So there is a certain amount of predestined. Now, if what I'm seeing is what happened in the last cycle of the universe, I don't know this is right. I mean, I'm just going on trying to work out. I need an answer, and science needs an answer, and it needs researching.
How do you mean the last cycle of the universe?
Well, if this Big Bang happened before and it all implodes like they say it will,
and comes out again.
It comes out again.
So you're catching. You're catching the kind of foursome as it comes out from.
Well, no, what you're doing, you're catching up on the grooves of a record.
Yeah.
So if we're on the second cycle of the universe, there was a previous cycle.
Right.
So as we're approaching it, we might be able to, like the shock wave in front. That might not be true, but what is true is this is a phenomena, and it happens.
Can you make yourself dream about the National Lottery and let me know?
Well, I will let you know, but I'll do it first.
Yes, absolutely. You'll have a queue. Right. Well, last night, Chris asked our researchers, and we asked him, to put an object into a box to test his abilities. Now, he's studied the box, he's been able to see it, but he's not opened it because we've had a security guard with it all night. Would you like to come on in with our security guard with this unopened box?
No,
he's not touched it, has he? He's not looked inside this box.
So there's no way, and the object was put in the box miles away from him, so there's no way that you
I haven't seen the box until I got in here this morning, believe me.
So there's no way you know what's in there.
Okay, so we know what's in there, but you don't. Would you like to tell us what you think is in there?
Because you had a dream last night.
Well, my dream last night, there were only two boxes in the dream. There was a telephone box, and there was a friend of mine in there called Raymond, and his nickname was Dolly. We all used to call him Dolly. So I take across to the translation of the dream, box, Dolly.
Right.
The other parts of the dream, the other boxes were in a post office sack.
Right.
And there were lots of these things, and they were like presents. And there was some reference to Barbie. So that's a doll as well.
Right.
So we take it over. So it's some kind of children's toy. It might not necessarily be a dolly.
Well, before we open the box to find out, let's just... You do not dream literally. What you dream is a series of symbols.
Symbols,
So you saw a box, which was a telephone box, somebody in there who you called Dolly.
Yes.
Right.
And then I saw post office sacks with lots of boxes in, and we had to open it and take it out.
Okay.
All right.
Dolly.
This is genuine. That security guard has been with this... Oh, actually, I don't know if we can get it. It's so genuine, I don't know if it's... All right.
You can get it open.
Yeah, there it is. Would you like to see what's in the box? That is... It's actually our producer's childhood teddy bear.
What's it called, Helen?
Edward.
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 How did you... Oh, well, I'm not the best called Edward, but anyway, it's called Edward. Okay.
It's written on my notes over there.
Really?
So you actually...
It's close.
You knew...
Well, I mean, it could have been a credit card, it could have been a spanner, it could have been a radio microphone, it could have been anything. You think of what could have been in that box.
Just to get this clear.
At a fundamental level.
Hang on. What you asked us to put in there was an object which had a history and meant something to the person
concerned. Yes, but it could have been anything.
It could have been anything.
It could have been anything.
A ring. In fact, yesterday
it could have been a ring. Yes, it could have been your ring. It could have been your
yeah.
wife's wedding ring. It really could have been anything.
Well, congratulations. And the thing, let's quickly say that Helen, our producer, who's in the box now, fairly gobsmacked. Your parents used to run a post office. Is that right? And you were born on Christmas Day, which would explain the party.
Right, that would but it is cryptic, and you do have to translate it.
Bloody
and in
hell.
fairness to me, I really only did have one night to do this.
I still want to know
If
how
I'd
you
have-
is called Edward.
It's on my notes over there. The
Why
man.
did you have notes about him?
Well, the man in the telephone box
Yeah.
with Dolly, there were two people
Yeah.
in the box, was a friend of mine, journalist who is now deceased, Trevor Edward Kempson. He
How
was from the News of the
extraordinary.
World. And I was actually thinking of Trevor or Edward. But when I saw it, I thought, no, it's not Trevor, it's Edward.
I want you to move into our spare bedroom, okay? And we want notes from you every morning, all right?
Okay.
We're going to feed you with some financial tips, you know,
Okay.
from the FTSE index and all the rest of it, okay?
I think the National Lottery, definitely.
Yeah. Good to meet you. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Thank
A
you.
remarkable...
Thank you very much.
And that's strange but true on ITV tonight. Book
Yes.
out as well,
Yeah.
we should
Everybody
say.
watch
It's an
it.
amazing experiment, actually.
Strange.
That really is weird.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very
True.
much.
Gosh, see, we didn't believe him, so that's why we wanted to put the test in, and it worked. Just about. Anyway,